Welcome to the PoultryDoc.com and the PoultryDoc Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Blayne, a board-certified poultry veterinarian, educator, and backyard chicken enthusiast. And my goal is to bring you science-based, fact-driven medicine. And also along the way, we're going to have special guests to speak about some of their issues and bring questions to the table. We'd love it if you subscribe and like the channel. And if you have any comments or questions, please feel free to submit them. And thank you for joining. We're at the home of Allen Danziger,
a.k.a. Chainsaw Jerry.
Chainsaw Jerry from Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
The original.
1974.
50 years ago.
50-year anniversary. And now the Weed Hacker Massacre.
Right. Soon to be released. Hopefully within 6 months.
And met Allen at Callahan's general store, feed store, where he was purchasing some chickens for the backyard. And I talked about coming out and visiting these birds. And so let us in on your practice back here. What's going on?
Well, it's something I've always wanted to do. I mean, I'm basically a kid from the Bronx, but I have this property and have this backyard, and I'm hearing all these things about, you can't buy eggs, you can't find eggs. And the lady that we got the first batch said that any egg that you get from a store is minimum of 21 days old. And so that's too old,
Yeah.
So I thought, well, it'd be fun to have my own chickens and raise them and get farm fresh eggs. And so that started us on the journey.
What's going on right now in the market with influenza and whatnot have really spiked egg prices. So we've got a bunch of people like yourself that are exploring backyard chickens and finding, new pets basically in the backyard that produce.
And we've named them. I mean, we've got, unfortunately, one of them passed away, Elvira. But we have Elvira and Morticia, Christine and Carrie.
I don't recognize those names.
Well, you don't? Sure you do. Sure you do. It's kind of a horror theme type of thing.
One of the things that Allen brought up was that Elvira had passed, and
she contracted some kind of an eye disease.
That's right.
And Jamie did everything to nurse her back to health, but she didn't make it.
And that's kind of what we're focusing on today's podcast is respiratory disease, which will present in many different ways. And one is that crusting of the eye, or you may see it. And
that's what happened.
She had weird labor breathing.
That's what happened.
Yeah. So Mycoplasma is a common disease that can be found in backyard chickens that you source. And
that's what it was. That's what they said it was.
Most likely, that was it. And so you can see crusting on the nares or like their dirty beak. Hey, Towns, can you grab one of those chickens with the dirty beak? And so like we get a runny nose and you wipe it away, but the chicken gets the runny nose and can't exactly wipe it away. And they're rooting around.
They don't use Kleenex or anything.
They don't use Kleenex. But you see a little bit of dirt around her nares on the beak. And that is from, she's getting a runny nose, she's pecking in the litter. And that dirt sticks to it. And so we'll see it that way. Another way this can present is they will wipe their eyes on their feathers. And sometimes you'll see them with dirty shoulders. That's another indicator that there's something going on. But in this particular case, I'm sure we can confirm it with tests, but these birds likely have Mycoplasma. It's a disease that once they get it,
there's no cure for it?
There's no cure. They'll always have it. Usually it's that first bout with it or when they're stressed later on that it may come back again and cause some more respiratory disease, but it's typically not too fatal, but it can be in those first instances when they first get it. So
yeah.
So Morticia's got it a little bit too. Dan, you just bought these birds
less than a month ago.
And so, what happens is, and you had some here, they were all new.
Yeah.
They were all new. So it's likely the stress of the move. They were brought into Callahan's, that's where you got them from. So when these birds were transported, and they're probably boxed up, I'm sure, mainly good, but still the fact that they're penned up and moved to a new location, just that stress can bring on the disease. Kind of think about like a fever blister, right? You get stressed out. Some people have that. It could happen that way too. But yeah, so one of the things that we can do to control Mycoplasma is our antibiotics. And obviously we try to do that on a really as needed basis. Mycoplasma is a bacteria that will respond to medication. And so that's one thing we can use to help control it. But
Allen's planning on bringing his keyboard down and playing music for the chicken.
I've got, so try to, play some sounds for them,
That would definitely bring
keep them happy.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to keep us out here too long, but you got any other questions?
To have you check our, the grounds here, make sure that it's a healthy area for them and that they've got enough room to move around and hopefully get some of those farm fresh eggs.
That's right, yeah. Well, I appreciate everybody tuning in, and thank you, Allen. Thank you, Jamie, for sharing your time.
Happy to be here on your, maiden voyage, your maiden broadcast, and hope this is a success.
This is the first
and that
one.
People can subscribe because we're learning a lot of stuff.
I appreciate that very much. Yeah, and it's our goal to help backyard chicken growers like yourself worry less and learn more in a podcast, the Poultry Health Podcast. And check out the Weed Hacker Massacre.
Coming to a neighborhood near you soon.
That's right. Thanks again.